My name is Shana Gates. I am a real estate agent, and I've been licensed for 19 years. I'm also a chief strategy officer of our brokerage. I'm also here with my business partner, Dominic Labriola.
Hi, my name is Dominic Labriola. Can we get our slides up on the, there we go. Cool. So I've been licensed since 2003, and I started out in Arizona. In 2008, I started using TigerLead, and we've run successful teams of all sizes and shapes, from being solo agents all the way up to big brokerages, but we're getting started.
Yeah, we're here to share the success story of a brand new market that seemed the most challenging. We were already in Southern California, Northern California, Arizona, and this fourth market personally felt the hardest because it was a city that I moved into, and although I've sold thousands of homes in California, I didn't know anybody. So it took me a little bit longer to get started. I was in my own mind, even after all this experience and everything that we've already experienced success in different markets. We really didn't know anybody when we got started. We just had the tools of YLOPO, and I was terrified. I called the YLOPO team and G and just said, please jumpstart this for me. What I'm doing feels like it's just taking so much longer. So they gave us a few tips that we want to share with you. Dominic moved only in February of this year that we truly got started with what we're about to show you for the quickest conversion, though it took a long time to get off the ground initially in my mind. When Dominic moved over in February, this is really where the success began.
I was kind of in a crummy place too in February, and I've had lots of ups and downs from 2008 and on. And so when Shana kind of said, well, why don't you just move to the Coachella Valley? It was honestly just a total restart for me. So we have the brokerage and we're doing that, but I wanted to really kind of get ramped back up in the sales side. I also think it's really valuable for us as company owners to be able to kind of show exactly what we're doing to our agents, for our agents. So being able to be using the tools and systems and not just like some of the past presenters have said, pointing from and telling, oh, go do that, go do that. We're really working and living in the lab, like Howard said. So getting started in this new market, I didn't know anybody in the Coachella Valley except for a few small people. So we really did realize through this that every step we've taken has been a total game plan where we needed to just start from scratch. So we had success in the past, but we didn't know what we were going to do. So we knew we had to start with some sort of game plan. After Shana spoke with YLOPO and said, let's get some tools, we really honed in on Google LSA. And to do that, we had to establish a physical location in Palm Desert at a WeWork because we don't have an office in that location. So we hired YLOPO for Google LSA and Google My Business and YLOPO Leads. And so we're doing Raya Voice on a level 1 license.
And those first 2 steps actually was the best thing that we could have done. And I should have done it a lot sooner getting started, because instantly with hardly any reviews, it just dropped us in that geolocation. Getting on LSA and getting a $99 workspace was, our phone started ringing off LSA instantly using the YLOPO team that actually integrate to our home search site with our Google spend, and we were getting calls from home sellers right away. So we did the search site, did the LSA, dropped ourselves in the geolocation in Palm Desert office, and we started to try to create local content, blogs, SEO, YouTube, just to place us even further into the environment that we wanted to work in. We did farm, circle prospect, and digital door knocking. So we're going to show you a few examples of all of those.
So we really have found success through just using just sold Diva ads. And we're directing that to our Seller 2.0 search site, or not search site, Seller 2.0 landing page. So if we run a just sold diva ad. We target them. We say, hey neighbors, this listing just sold. Like this one, we did just sell 200,000 over list price. So that's really engaging and it gets the seller interested. Like, man, I need to do that. So this is just like door knocking at houses, but instead we're doing it to a targeted area that people are living within. And then it sends them to that landing page, which allows people to see and get their home analysis, and we're able to get their information. We can retarget them. We can start to make phone calls to them. It's just so valuable to be able to capture that instead of just randomly sending stuff out into the postcards and never hearing from them again.
So another thing that I love about this, and back to Dominic's point, this is not a custom ad that we're doing. We're simply just doing in our mission control, selecting a sold diva. You could also do it with an MLS number if you've sold to a buyer. This is what we call digital door knocking. We're doing postcards and circle prospecting around it, but we see more success with digital door knocking than we do postcards with QR codes.
We also, through that planning process, I've kind of compiled all the information that I've learned from 2003 on, and we put it together. Like people have talked about, it is all about mindset. It's about creating that idea, like your why drives your burning desire, where you want to be. And so we put together this really beautiful business planning workshop. I kind of feel like it's the culmination of all the learning that I've done at different conferences through the year. So I'd love to share this with you. If you'd like a copy, please email me, dominic@craftbauer.com. I'm happy to share it with you. I'm really proud of it, and I think that it could benefit you a lot. So please feel free to ask for it.
So this was just an example of the Google local service ads. Work with the YLOPO team. A lot of agents will go direct with Google, but just take my word for it. YLOPO's team does it the best. They segment different audiences from new construction, and as soon as they click on it, they'll go to your home search with this amount of homes. They make it very easy to help us stay on top of our competition, just getting started with little reviews and content on the page.
And not knowing anybody in that space and just starting from scratch, this has been a really, really big source of business for us. Once we get those leads, that's where it's like, all right, how do we become relevant talking to people in that marketplace?
Because as you know, competing with other agents who have more reviews than us, have been in the area for longer, they have large teams. We have big competitors in the Palm Springs area. So to get on our first few listing appointments, what can we do to wow the homeowner and do something that nobody else is doing by using the YLOPO tools? So this was actually my idea during COVID, but it's been very helpful starting in a new market and beating out my competitors that most sellers won't even go to a second appointment. We send this on the Squarespace. This is just a landing page to sellers.
So we compile this with, instead of just a bunch of PDFs and links, we put our digital copy on a flip snack and put it into the Squarespace template. This takes the most time to build out the first time around, but then you can just duplicate the page over and over again, plug in new information, plug in a new heat map. We do advertising through a network that we belong to, so we show them where we could advertise. We put a flip snack of the CMA in there. We show them examples of our past marketing materials, things that show them what their house could look like if we were to have them list with us. We put our bios in and testimonials. And this has been a game changer for our agents brokerage-wide. Our creative team just puts this together for them. We ask for a couple days advance notice before they're headed out to the listing presentation. Put that information, share the CMA with the creative team, or if you're doing it yourself, just learn how to use the Squarespace template. It's so easy. Go in there, duplicate the page, plug it in, and you can send the text out the night before you're going to meet with the client. Say, hey, in advance of our meeting, I wanted to share this with you. If you have any questions during our meeting, it'll make it so much easier for you to know information about how I'm going to market your home.
And honestly, get a little help to just get the initial one. And it's easy to duplicate, like Dominic said, with just changing out the CMA, and it is a complete game changer. We still bring it to the listing appointment on a paper or a presentation, but
like a nice hardbound book. So it's a nice leave behind, but it's also really good to have it.
We got that idea instead of sharing links, like proving ourselves an email with a bunch of attachments. It's just a beautiful way to present yourself.
We wanted to share some of our favorite YLOPO tools that really help us be relevant. If you're new to the whole system, these are some of the tools that you should really hone in on. If you're like, holy crud, I am lost, I don't know what to do. The Brand and Market Trends report helps us so much in a new marketplace that's been a game changer for us, because people are like, yeah, I'm gonna just wait because I feel like prices are gonna come down. And so by sharing the branded market trends, we can show them, actually, we kind of saw the dip back in this month, and now we're seeing an upward trend. You really shouldn't wait. So that's helped us a ton with credibility and being able to show people the direction of the marketplace. We also really think that the heat maps are impressive and help us gain a lot of seller confidence. And we love the open house tool. You saw an amazing presentation on that. So definitely plug into that.
These tools are all in your YLOPO toolbox. So you and all of your agents have access to it. I probably use this specific tool of the market trend report for buyers and sellers every follow-up, every initial follow-up. If it was a LSA listing appointment that I'm about to go on, I would send them this link. It takes me 2 minutes to generate. And also when I'm going on appointments, I pull it up for myself so I can kind of see the trends in graph form. But I follow up with this and the seller landing page in one email to sellers. If it's a buyer, I'll take this same report and just put that with a home search link to an email follow-up. And this has helped us tremendously convert people within showing them 3 homes. You know, a 7-day-old lead we just closed, we showed them 3 homes, but they had all these objections. And it helps us overcome those objections and keep them on track. And they feel like that they're working with somebody very professional that's just going above and beyond any tools that other agents are offering them.
We also like to say that if you're not over-prepared, you're under-prepared. So we are coming at them with this arsenal of tools, which helps them to see that we're really professional. We're really able to help them. We're bringing things as simple as like a label that we stuck on a bottle of water. We give them a nice little notebook, like anything that you can do to help convert these clients and help them see, like give them that concierge 5-star experience. Like if you're gonna go to the car dealership and they're gonna give you a bottle of water, they're buying a house. You're not gonna like give them something to help them to feel like they're being taken care of.
We're really excited because we're just see the release that you guys did yesterday with these buyer and seller pages. We kind of created this for ourselves, but we're looking forward of the new release. But we decided to do the same thing that was giving us success with the seller landing pages. And now with everything that's happening, make buyer landing pages to send over as soon as we get the inquiry or somebody that's already approved or wants to get approved, just for more information to review before we meet with them in person.
And then we kind of have this as more of evergreen content. So here's an example of one that we set up for the Coachella Valley. So in this, it shows a flip snack of our hardbound buyer presentation book. It shows the 6 simple steps that we created 15 years ago about how to buy a home. So every single step, starting with meeting, having a consultation, and then answering their questions, getting them pre-approved, running through the escrow timeline, sharing everything about how the process works, then telling them about how they're going to go look at homes, write an offer, and then go through the escrow process. So it just really simplifies everything. We also have information here on what, this is a flip snack of an example of the buyer-broker exclusive employment agreement. We talk about the different kinds of contracts that people can sign in real estate. We have also really been focusing on the number of potential seller opportunities that we're getting from our buyer leads. We have noticed a ton of the people that we are working with as buyers need to sell their house as well. So we're always asking people now, do you also need me to talk to you about selling your place?
These are all linked to your website, these landing pages. The buyer one kind of stays the same. The seller one is always changing with the CMAs and a header.
So what we've learned about this whole process has really been, it's totally a rinse, wash, repeat. 90 days of diligent effort will get you to success. So I moved there February 2nd. We've been working on it basically since January in this marketplace. And we just knew that we had to roll up our sleeves, put the work in, and then within a few weeks, we started to see the crumbs of success blossom. So we have some rules. We run absolutely everything through Follow Up Boss. We don't make a phone call. We don't send a text message. I transferred my phone number into Follow Up Boss. If it doesn't go through Follow Up Boss, it doesn't exist. We also work through every primary Follow Up Boss smart list every day. So it's set up. It's really easy. Go left from right. We numbered them 1 through 10. You go through, work through them every day, and that way nobody slips through the cracks. We complete all of today's tasks, which if you're working left from right, those should honestly kind of come through. But then we look for today's tasks, make sure that we've checked all of those and followed up with every single person. If by chance you did happen to miss anybody, check that overdue tasks every day as well to make sure that if anybody didn't get followed up with in the last couple days, be sure to follow up with them and complete those tasks that day.
And also the priority alerts and some of these things I'm about to go over is my favorite because with this much experience, and I have had success with the old school farm way, but I would have to call 100 to 500 people to get a few listing appointments. Just following up with your priority alerts and your smart list and the Raya responses and the AI live transfers, it feels so inbound that it was almost, I hate to say it, was almost like YLOPO was the easy button. It happened so quickly once we actually just got a rhythm in place and turned everything on. We utilize tools like the branded market report, heat map, best follow-up practice for quicker conversion. I knew that right away working with a lot of my agents, if you come unprepared and you don't narrow down their options and show them a bird's eye view of their options, it's taking them a lot more meetings to actually make a decision. So I just love the tools to help close them quicker. And then many people have both a home to sell and buy. So we noticed that a lot of our leads that were coming in, they were a double transaction.
So these are some of the results that we've had in the last 4 months. So we've had, you can see the source. So if it was a buyer lead, a seller lead, the source of where it came from. So pay-per-click, local service ad, how much it's sold for. And then underneath that, we also show where the conversion happened. So just looking back at this now, it's kind of, I mean, I'm a techie person, but I'm also an analog person. So AI kind of freaked me out a little bit, but I see now if you work with it, it works. Look at our conversion here on just these 12 deals. 2 of those were where we specifically dialed and made the conversion. The rest of them, the computer is helping us to get to the table to talk to that person. We're getting engagement from Raya. We're getting live transfers from the call center. We're getting sign calls from our listings, and we're able to convert those. But 9 out of these 12 deals were assisted, and we got the layup through the tech.
And most of these, because we're on a vacation market, were PPC and Google LSA. We actually use the Facebook marketing to do the divas for more radius specific, but we're in Palm Springs, so it's a vacation market.
And we've got an amazing pipeline built up that should carry us through the rest of the year already, just with what we've been working on with 90 to 120 days of diligent effort. Thank you.
All right. Let's go back to that last slide. So if you don't know that, down to the penny, right, things got to change. right? You need to know exactly how many A's, B's, C's, cool buyers, pre-list, like all the stages. Do you know that to the penny? Right? Because if you don't, things have to change. So I told you in the first hour of the first day, I'm living in the lab. It's just super fun. Obviously, I'm doing my real estate tech thing all day. And then I take a break from my residential real estate tech thing, and then I go into the guest house, and I walk in, and I always knock on the door. Hello, is this Kraft and Bauer? It's like 3 steps from my house, my office. And then there's like 3 people, my wife, my son, Dominic, and 3 dogs. I love it. I play with the dogs, I wrestle with the dogs, see what they're doing, learn some shit, and I go back. It's awesome. It's awesome to actually just live in the lab. But I would have titled this presentation 0 to 60 in 120 days, right? I mean, right, different market. I'm like, nope, you're moving to the valley. You're going to be in the greater Palm Springs, Rancho Mirage, Indian Wells area. You don't know anybody. You don't have 20 years of referrals. You're not in the PTA. You don't know anyone, right? You have follow-up us. You have YLOPO. Make it work. Trust the process. That's it. That's what they told me. Got to trust the process. Any small business owner is investing a shitload of money to open up the laundromat, the pizza, the bar, the whatever, like hundreds of thousands of dollars to open up any of these small businesses, right? It doesn't take that amount to do this, to fire up YLOPO and Follow Boss, get on your monthly program, trust the process, and use the tools. Write it down. Trust the process, invest, use the tools, right? And if you have questions about it, right, find these guys. They'll tell you about it.
And if you don't know how to use the tools, you can't use the tools. So just spend a little bit of time each week trying to become a master of just one of those tools. And then a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, you've got this whole arsenal of stuff behind you that you're able to just employ at such an easy pace.
Yeah. So we wanted to show you that. Like, if you're newer to the system, if you're small, if you're feeling overwhelmed or challenged, like, these are not like technocrats here. These are real people, right, who are just digging in to learn the technology, right, and look at all the deals that they've just closed and look at how much they're in the pipeline. They've created a machine. They've created an income-producing machine. Y'all have the same tools. Y'all have the same level of abilities, and you guys can make it happen. Guys, thank you so much.
How expansion really happens. How expansion really happens in recruitment really is the overflow of jump-starting a market. But also for anybody that has got discouraged or just wants to catch the rhythm with conversion, I always say have consistent behavior for 90 days and guarantee you're going to close something within 60. And if you don't have a closing within 60 days, it should really be 45 to 60 days, then you should talk to the marketing department.
Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it. It was awesome. Big round of applause. Thanks, guys.